Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of The Process. Like in previous episodes, we're in a different room recording this. The first one was in my living room, the second one was in the kitchen, and this one is in the bathroom. I'm currently sat in the bath, fully clothed. This isn't no weird shit. But yeah, it's a small room, which means there's quite a bit of space. There's not a lot of space, which means all the sounds are just clashing together, and it's very bassy in here. It's very different than the last two rooms. But yeah, let's get into the Alien level. The Alien level is a very sort of dark, atmospheric song. And it originated from this idea. When I was writing it, I had this like image in my head of a sort of ominous alien game where you're sort of moving through a sort of empty car park where you can't really see a lot. It's very low fog. You can tell something's out there, but you can't see it. There's a very that sort of horror vibe to it. And when picking sounds for this one, back to the Cube, like I mentioned in the last episode, they have a pack called Haunt, which are very horror-based sounds. So I drew a lot from that when I was playing it in, and when I wanted to create sort of a swell of sound, because like I said in the last episode, I have this small Akai MPK keyboard that I use to write the stuff in. And like I said, it's limiting. But in this situation, when I'm trying to sort of create atmosphere, I can just play in. Like, there was some structure to it, but when I wanted to give that sort of swell of like keeping us on our toes, trying to get back to that video game mindset of that we're in a car park, something's hunting us, we can't see it. And I tried to reflect that in the writing of it as well. That was sort of this unpredictable, like, oh, we don't know really well, like, where we're going to go next with it, sort of thing. And what also helped to build that sort of uncomfortable sound is another free plugin that I use called it's by a guy called Project Sam. It's a free orchestra, and they have all these weird instruments. It's not like a string section, brass section, percussion section. It's like they've taken instruments and made weird sounding instruments out of them. So, and they're on the first version of it, there's this one called Dystopian Drones, which the more notes you add to it, like the more wild it gets, which is when you hear those swells in the song, that's what's happening. I'm pressing multiple like keys, and it's building this massive like layer of sound, which again, back to the video game mindset, just adds to that atmosphere. And yeah, that's the kind of thing I was trying to achieve with that. Aside from the music, obviously it'll already be out by the time you listen to this, but I've made a sandbox game to go alongside this, because the Alien level is going to be essentially the single of the EP, which doesn't make technical sense, but there we are. But it's like a secret single that you have to play this game to like unlock it, essentially. So you have your character, and they'll have a sword and shield, and there'll be 20 aliens that you've got to kill. So you've got to kill 20 aliens. They've all got names, because why not? Once you kill all the 20 aliens, then you've got to go to the castle to kill the evil camel. Because why not again? And then once you kill the evil camel, Old Man Billy Boy, which is the old dude stood behind the camel, will give you a password, and then, which is a password to get the song, essentially. So then once you've defeated the camel, Old Man Billy Boy's like, well done, here's the password. You then message me being like, all right guys, I've done your game, this is the password, I'll then send you the song. And it's not overly like horror based, this song. It's very sort of just straightforward. I try to make it sort of as light, as funny as possible, because it's not about the context of the game. This is more of like changing it up in music marketing, like getting, again, like in previous episodes I've mentioned, talking about trying to get away from them norms, trying to get away from the rules of what's considered normal. So with this, I thought, oh, let's try something different, and have the message of the EP be throw the throw the rule book out, like create something a little bit out there, get yourself out of the comfort zone, and yeah, just see where that rabbit hole leads. Because I love nothing more. That's not one of my favorite parts about creating is you like I call them happy accidents, that where you'll be working on a piece of music and it'll be going in one direction and something will happen, a mistake, you'll hit the wrong note, or an effect that wasn't even there, accident, you actually turn an effect on or something like that, like, and it will try transform the piece of music you're working on like that, and you'll be like, well, that just sounds so much better. Like, and that's the bit that excites me, that we can make anything's possible, like, and the possibilities are endless, and you can do it. Like, technology these days allows us to like have essentially this infinite idea machine that I can just sit on my sofa and tap into, and every time it's going to be different, and anything's possible, sort of thing. So, but yeah, like, that's about it for the Alien level. It's a dark, moody horror sort of roller coaster, essentially, that goes up and it goes down. And again, I've said in previous episodes where sometimes it's uncomfortable to listen to. This is one of them songs where you're like, oh, like, I'm mashing the fuck out of my keyboard and this swell of sound is happening, and it's like, oh, that's a little bit, it's on the line, and you're like, oh, that's, I don't know how to feel about that, but that's okay in a way. But yeah, that's the end of this episode. Coming up next on episode 4 is Octavical.